Just want to say a quick thank you to all the members of the Kinetic Rugby League channel. It is greatly appreciated. Content on this channel will continue to be free. There is no obligation to pay anything for the content, but those that become members, that donate during live streams, it is all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your support, and if you'd like to become a member, you can do by clicking the join button below this video. That's going to be it. Let's get on with the video. So to recap my predictions from last round, I got 7 out of 7. Finally, a week with 100%. Would you look at that? Wait. No. Wait. No. Oh, no. Why did he change it? Oh, you idiot. You moron. So I actually only got 6 out of 7, which is still a great week. It's still great. I've had a few shockers recently, but the worst NRL tipster on YouTube is suddenly decent for a week. So it's going to be an absolute shocker this time because it's back to 8 games. But yeah, let's crack on with the first game of this week. Kicking things off this week, we have the Knights versus Sea Eagles. So the Knights come into this game as the better defensive side, slightly, but the Sea Eagles aren't far off having double the points that the Knights have offensively. Kalen Ponga and Greg Marju come back in for the Knights, so they are immediately more dangerous in possession and a little bit stronger under the high ball as well, along with carries out the backfield, possibly looking more effective with Greg Marju in the back line. Although Hunt did look very comfortable under the high ball last time out against the Dragons. But the Manly Sea Eagles, they lost Jason Saab later in the week last round, so Clayton Faulolo will play in back-to-back weeks, and after having a fairly decent round 13 performance, he can take some confidence into this game as well. And without Tom Trbojevic last round for Manly, Harpuate stays at fullback, but they still look dangerous in possession, and I think Daly Cherry Evans had one of his best games of the season, especially with his short-range kicking game. Now, Newcastle are without Leo Thompson and Jack Hetherington in the forwards. They're without Tyson Gamble in the backs as well. But Manly, they'll be missing out on Josh Allier in the forwards. But I think both sides have enough depth in there to fill those positions fairly well. But I think the options in rotation are stronger for Manly, and Leo Thompson is the biggest miss of all 3 forward names, in my opinion. Now, the Knights have only won 1 in their past 5 games against the Sea Eagles, and the Knights have lost their last 4 games at the McDonald Jones Stadium. With the Knights being so poor defensively, I can't see them being much of a threat, even with Ponga and Marju back in there. So for a prediction, I'm going to go with the Sea Eagles to win 13+, and for a try scorer, I'm going to take Tolu Kula. Next up, we have the Storm versus Cowboys. So the last few meetings have gone in favour of the Cowboys in very high-scoring games, and with the amount of points being scored in the last 4 to 5 weeks in games for both sides, we could see another really high-scoring game this time as well. The form for Melbourne is slightly better in the last 5, earning just 1 more point, but I would say that the run that Melbourne has been on recently is much tougher, in my opinion. And the Storm also go into this with much better attacking and defending stats behind them. But Xavier Coates is back for Melbourne Storm, as well as Harry Grant, who's missed a fair bit of club footy recently, so the Storm look relatively close to full strength. The Cowboys will be without Murray Talangi still, and without Jason Tamalolo through the middle. Now, the Cowboys have won every head-to-head since 2021, and the Cowboys have scored nearly 40 points per game on average in the last 3 meetings. However, the Storm have won their last 8 games at Amy Park, and with Melbourne having their full spine available in Pappenhausen, Munster, Hughes and Grant for the first time in a while, I feel they've got the edge. So I think it's going to be high scoring, but for a prediction, I'm going to go with the Storm to win 1 to 12 points, and for a try scorer, I'm going to take Ryan Pappenhausen. Next up, we have the Dolphins versus Dragons. So the Dolphins have Tabai Fidau and Marshall King back in the side this week, so that's huge for them in the spine. Whilst the Dragons lose Jaden Sewer, they can at least bring Christian Tuipulotu back in. Both sides are on really poor form, winning just 2 in their last 5, but the Dragons are on a 2-game win streak. However, if you look at the run of games that the Dolphins have had recently, it includes the Eels, but it also includes the Raiders, Roosters, Warriors and Bulldogs, which is an incredibly difficult set of games, so it might be a little bit easier to forgive the Dolphins for their poor form at the moment. I think there's a decent battle to be had through the middle, but for starters, I think Francis Molo has been a solid addition to the Dolphins pack, and Josh Kerr as an impact sub has been quite damaging this year as well. But in the backs, the Dragons still have King Tongi at 6, who continues to impress and develop. His short-range kicking game is looking pretty good at the moment as well. The Dragons, though, have only won 2 of their past 10 games at Suncorp Stadium, and when I look at these lineups, the Dragons have some exciting players in Gutherson, Holmes, Tuipulotu and King Tongia, for example, but I cannot look past this Dolphins side that has their starting spine back and has Farnworth, Avarillo in the back line to cause damage on the edges. So for prediction in this game, I'm going to go with the Dolphins to win 1 to 12 points. And for a try scorer, I'm going to take Herbie Farnworth. Next up, we have the Sharks versus the Warriors. So both sides are on positive form at the moment. The Sharks have won 3 in their last 5. The Warriors have won 4 in their last 5. Ronaldo Mulatalo will be out for the Sharks, but he's replaced by Hiroti. But the Warriors will be missing Mitch Barnett and Rocco Berry. So some tough misses there in the backs and especially in the forwards. I really like the forward pack that the Warriors have available though, with Fisher Harris, Ford, Halasima, Niokore and Clark. They've been dominant in plenty of games this year and are probably a bit bigger than the Sharks, but with Adam Fanua-Blake, the Sharks have their own weapon that can punch holes in defences through the middle. Looking at recent results as well, the Warriors are getting the wins. Even in really close games, they're still getting the wins. They've won by 4, 1 and 4 again. They then lost by 6, but then won by 6 in recent weeks. And the loss was against one of the league's best sides in the Raiders. The Sharks have won 6 of their past 8 games at Shark Stadium, but the Warriors have won 3 of their past 4 games against the Sharks. The final point is that as much as the Sharks are a good side, and the win that they had versus Melbourne was massive, the major loss versus the Roosters has really put me off for this one. And like I said before, the Warriors games have been close, but most importantly, they're getting the wins. So for prediction in this one, I'm going to go with the Warriors to win 1 to 12 points. And for a try scorer, I'm going to go with KL Iro. Next up, we have the Broncos versus Titans. So at the weekend, I was doing a live stream during the Eels versus Broncos game, and I said this. I'm locking in right now. I am not going to back the Broncos to win another game this year until they prove that they look like a half-decent side again. I'm going to go against them every single week. I don't care if they play last place, second to last, third to last. I don't care who it is. I don't care if the team they play against has lost 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row. I don't care. I'm backing that team against the Broncos every time. Until the Broncos prove that they actually look like they've got something about them, I'm not backing them again. So given the Broncos are playing last place and one of the worst form sides in the comp right now, let's see if I'll stick by my statement, shall we? Starting with form, both have won just 1 in their last 5 games. The Broncos have lost to the Panthers, Rabbitohs, Dragons and Seagulls. So some half-decent sides, but nothing of major note. Whereas the Titans have lost to the Cowboys, and yes, what was a bit of a battering, but they've also played the Bulldogs, Raiders and Storm in recent weeks. Now the Titans are still a very, very poor defensive side, conceding 30 points per game on average this season. But luckily, they play a Broncos side that looks completely void of ideas, effort and attitude. Now, one major positive for Brisbane is that Reece Walsh comes back in. And if you look at the team list, the Broncos look so much stronger on paper. But on grass, they look abysmal. The Broncos have also lost 6 of their past 7 games. And the Titans have scored 100 points in 3 successive wins over the Broncos combined. So, to follow through with my own statement, I'm going to go with the Titans to win 1 to 12 points. And for a try scorer, I'm going to take Alifiana Khan-Pereira. Next up, we have the Raiders versus Rabbitohs. So the home side Canberra Raiders are currently on a 3-game win streak, also winning 4 in their last 5, while the Bunnies have only won 2 in their last 5 games. The Raiders are also another side that's been on a tough run recently, playing the Storm, Bulldogs, Warriors and Roosters in their last 5, and they also come into this off the back of a really impressive comeback against the Roosters. But the Raiders will have Tom Starling and Jamal Fogarty back in this week, which is massive for them, as they did look a bit disjointed without Fogarty, and they lacked a little bit of sting in the middle without Starling. But the Bunnies also have major players coming back in Cody Walker and Jack Whiten, so both teams actually look really strong on paper going into this. Now the Rabbitohs are slightly better defensively this year, but the Raiders are massively ahead in terms of points scored. I do think the Raiders would love to have Matty Nicholson back as well to help with speed and flair on the right edge, but if they're starting Papali'i, Tarpany and Horsburgh, as they currently have listed, I think they'll absolutely dominate even against Arrow, Kalamatangi and Hubner. Finally, the Raiders have won 5 of their past 6 games against the Rabbitohs. They're on better form as well, as I mentioned, and their side also looks stronger. So for prediction, I'm going to go with the Raiders to win 1 to 12 points. And for a try scorer, I'm going to go with Hudson Young. Next up, we have the Tigers versus Panthers. We have 2 sides near the bottom of the ladder going at it in this one, so both seriously need to get something going soon. The Tigers do have Gerald Skelton coming back into the starting side, but they'll be losing Alex Twal and Royce Hunt this week. The Panthers have a few decent players coming back in, which includes Paul Alamotti and Isaiah Papali'i, but they aren't even in the starting side, just the reserves for now. The Tigers are also having to deal with life without Lachlan Galvin, and as much as they might rally around each other, and it was a great comeback effort against the Cowboys, as a team, I don't think they have the weapons to take on a Panther side that has Edwards, Toto, Cleary, Martin, and Yeo in there. I think defensively the Panthers are strong enough. They've not been great, but I think they're strong enough, and statistically, they are a better attacking and defending side this season compared to the Tigers. West Tigers have won only 3 of their past 13 games against the Panthers, and the Panthers have won 18 of their past 21 daytime games as well, apparently, which is a weird stat to read. Now, you would imagine that Taruva and Luai would love to get one over on Penrith after leaving the club, so we could see a few sparks from them during this game, but for me, the Panthers are just structurally better, and I don't think there's enough that Luai and Taruva can do to change the overall makeup of this pretty poor Tigers side to compete this week. So for a prediction, I'm going to go with the Panthers to win 1 to 12 points. And for a try scorer, I'm going to take Brian Toto. Finally for this round, we have the Bulldogs versus the Eels. So both sides are bringing what I think is close to their best. The Bulldogs are missing a few more key players. I fully understand that. But their backs are at full strength. For recent form, the Bulldogs have won 3 in their last 5 games. The Eels have only won 2 in their last 5 games. The Eels had a fair chance to beat the Panthers last week, but the Bulldogs will want to respond and get back to winning ways after a major defeat last time out to the Dolphins. But they'll come into this off the back of a bye with fresher bodies. Now, the Bulldogs are the better attacking side, but are significantly better as a defensive side as well. For the Eels to break Canterbury open, it's going to be a tough one, but with Moses and Brown together in the halves, an ever-improving Iongi, and a right edge of Penasini plus Lomax, I think the Eels might be able to find some decent points this week, but we'll have to see. Now, Lachlan Galvin is currently listed in the reserves for the Bulldogs, which means that Toby Sexton will remain as the number 7. And there's been a bit of noise around the Bulldogs since Galvin has joined, so I hope that doesn't derail their season in any way. And I've got nothing against Galvin, but I would absolutely love if Toby Sexton had the game of his life this week. And to score a try or 2 this week would actually be such a massive middle finger to the club. But overall, I think Saluk Fafita and Max King will set a massive platform for even Reid Marnie, who's had a bit of noise around him as well, to dominate through the middle and cause a lot of problems for the Eels. There are a few stats that favour the Eels in this one, such as the Eels winning 9 of their last 12 games against the Bulldogs at Accor Stadium, the Bulldogs conceding 144 points in their last 5 games, and Josh Adokar scored 23 tries in 26 games at Accor Stadium. Now, I think those stats indicate a close game, even given the major difference in performance this season for both sides. But with the Eels improving a fair bit this season since the start, it could be a close game, but the Bulldogs are the better side in attack and defence, and they've got the squad to get the win. So for a prediction, I'm going to go with the Bulldogs to win 1 to 12 points. And for a try scorer, I'm going to take and hope it's Toby Sexton. So to recap my predictions for this round, I'm going to take the Seagulls to win 13+, but I'm going to take the Storm, the Dolphins, Warriors, Titans, Raiders, Panthers, and Bulldogs all to win by 1 to 12 points. For win confidence, I'm at about 90%. I think there's a few that could go the other way. I think given the recent history, Storm and Cowboys could go the other way. Dolphins and Dragons is a little bit of a tricky one. Warriors have been getting it done, yes, but they've been close games. Broncos and Titans we'll see, but I'm actually pretty confident with the teams that I've backed. I'm actually quite confident, and for margin confidence, I'm at 95%, and normally I'm a bit higher on the margins. It doesn't mean that I'm going to get a 6, 7, or even 8 out of 8 this week, but yeah, I am quite confident this week, but we'll see how they go. I am the worst NRL tipster on YouTube, so just don't trust me. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys have your own predictions, please do let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. It does help to get the video out there to more people. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with more Kinetic Rugby League content. Join the Discord if you'd like to. The invite link is in the description. And if you'd like to become a member, you can do for as little as £1 a month, which is about $2 Australian roughly. You can do by clicking the join button below this video. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.